Hi everyone, we are back, Brian Parker and I, to continue our journey in developing the OpenAI.NET Standardized Edition. Oh, you know what, Brian? I like that. I like to, pick up existing products and just do the standardized version of it. That's pretty sweet. Before I get started with the session, I just wanted to kind of acknowledge and bring up to everyone's attention some of the effort that some folks from our community, Christo, hey Gregory, and others that are working really diligently to upgrade A.NET. So if you look at A.NET, A.NET is this library that is basically allowing people to create and build pipelines in C Sharp. So instead of you learning YAML, and I hear a lot of engineers, hating to use YAML, if you have to learn multiple languages just to kind of get a task done that can be done with one language, maybe you're not as efficient as you can be, right? Because you have to switch context in your mind all the time between, you know, um, you know, Python to JavaScript to C Sharp to YAML, jump back to PowerShell. It'll break your brain. It will wreck your brain, right? So try to minimize that kind of context switching so you're able to perform at high capacity. Now, with that being said, I wanted to kind of point out here this amazing effort that's been happening on the side. So this is Caitlin. He has this added functionality to basically generate, let's see here, to generate a tag for a release. And this tag for a release is what we're going to be catching to kind of kick off a NuGet package deployment, right? This is still debatable. We're still working on that part because that's not how we want it to look like. But the bottom line here is that you'll see a lot of discussions going on here. The community now is trying to push A.NET in the direction where we can release autonomously. So instead of me building locally and uploading to NuGet.org, which is so boring, why are we doing that? We want this to be more autonomous and standardized. Okay, so there's that one part. I also want to acknowledge one more thing. There is a an organization that's called the Standard Organization. And some of the, Brian Parker and Christo uh, Dutui is working on moving some projects over there, so people have full control kind of over, multiple people have ownership over some of these projects. So it's coming from the standard community, not coming from Hassan or Brian or Christo. It's coming from the standard community. I still can't find a good logo for it, so you're gonna have to deal with my face until someone comes up. This is how I'm telling the engineers, well, if you hate it that much, come up with a logo. We don't have a logo. I'm open for ideas to find a good logo for the standard and our standard community. It would be nice, but until then, it is what it is. Okay. So with that being said, Parker, let's jump straight into the code here. Let me increase the size of my display. It'll be nice at some point. Maybe I should add another screen on top of this 49-inch and basically have it always be the one that I use for sharing streams and whatnot, and sharing screens so people get to kind of, I
I
don't
had
have to,
a I had a heart operation a few years ago, and the doctor he did it to me while I was alive, awake, and he had six screens above me. Oh, he made me so jealous.
6 screens.
Six screens above me as he was working on me.
Crazy. PC setup, 49-inch and above it. Screen. I saw a guy that has like a really nice setup. Yeah, something like that. Here it is. Here it is. So you see, he has this big screen, and then he has
Hmm.
this thing above it. Also, I see people that do this insanity right here. I don't know. If I
Don't know if I'd be like looking up all the time.
no, no, I would not, and see, the thing is, I went and bought this, Samsung massive screen, but it was terrible. It just made my whole room look terrible. But this setup is definitely not too bad, I guess. I don't know if
You should have sent that screen to me for a second opinion.
I really should have. I really should have. You know what I really wish for? I wish you were nearby. I would have given you this Corsair one. It has like a 2080 titanium graphics card, and it's mostly used now for just some nonsense, but here we are, right? So okay, so let's go back to this. So you wrote a failing test for this.
I
Let's
run.
run.
I finished the failing test. Uh,
Thank you.
Kaylee did like a good most of it. I just finished it off.
I appreciate that, Brian. That's very kind. Okay,
You
let's
there?
see.
You went
Yeah,
quiet.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm just okay. All right, let's run this. Sorry about that little pause. I'm just old, Brian Parker.
He was
I
probably
just
shocked at my code and working out how not to say something.
Let's do this. Man, Brian, long time, man, long time. Okay, so why is this guy tripping? Fine-tune service. Yeah, it should be, right? Because it should be tripping.
Mhm.
So, okay, so we have this input date, random date, dynamic fine-tune properties, created bunch of properties. Okay, this needs to be like this, and since it's only one of them, so we can one line it like this, just so people watching, the standard also has the standard code, standard C sharp, and there's specific ways that can make code a lot easier to consume. This is training, cool. Maybe we can break this down by one and push this further like this. We can do the same thing in here. You do these things many enough times, you're not even thinking about. There you go. So this is also good. Let's break this here. And probably the same thing here. Yeah, see, doing the right thing is a little harder than doing anything, right? So okay, so this is fine-tuned because the right side is not clear.
Yep. So I want to raise a point here. The date time broker here. It's actually going to be called more than once, but I thought we'd deal with that after we write. We implement the code. Does that make sense?
You think it's going to be called more than once because of the
There's
conversion?
there's more than one date time property that we're going to be doing two conversions on.
Do we know how many these properties
No,
are?
I didn't clarify that. The other issue I had is they were all going past the same values.
Okay, let's see. Let's investigate this because we have tried our test in full faith that this test is requires a very specific way of implementation instead of waiting for the implementation to tell us it's not working.
So,
So
so, so what happened is Yusuf started writing this, I think, and he didn't put in the date time broker, I think, and
yeah.
yeah. And I was looking at it and I'm thinking, there's something missing here.
So the fine-tuned response then has, I'm assuming, training files, and training files has a date. So that's one. So however many training files we're getting back,
And
that's one.
there's also in the fine tune itself, I think there was 2 dates are created and even further it was
Yeah, but
created and updated.
but then this here needs to also be randomized, right? Because it's very easy to say, okay, every date out there. I mean, this is the input Unix time, right? So if you go into the create random fine tune, I see what you're doing. Yeah, we should probably not do that. Probably, because what I want to do is that the result that we expect, again, we're working backwards, right?
Hmm.
So I would take both of these out, and I would go and see here and say date time offset, random date time, get random date time. And also I want a number in here. So this is int random Unix epoch time, which is just, just give me get random number basically. Okay, because we really don't care about the conversion itself. So that means that the created date here, so this is going to be random created date time.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We needed to make 2 unique.
Yep. And this is random updated date time. This is random created Unix epoch. And this is random updated Unix epoch. Has to be bulletproof, right? So this is created here, which is created date. Okay, so this here is the this, and then this here is this guy, right? And then I want in here, this will be updated Unix epoch and random created, random updated date time like this.
Hmm.
Okay, so we have that. And I know we have dates somewhere else, but this here on the level of the fine tune, is this the fine tune response or the fine tune request? Right, so that's another question. I'm assuming this is the high level.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's see here. So if I go back here at the submit level, these two are not needed anymore because it's going to be like an array of things. So these all go away. And then we should get some errors somewhere. Yep, we have some errors in here. And this is basically the setup. Well, for starters, we know that on the random fine-tune properties, the dynamic fine-tune properties, we know that in this input fine-tune requests, uh, here's the created date. So training file property, but this guy is coming from where? It's coming from training file properties, which is coming from random fine-tune properties, which is coming from this guy. So inside the training, so does the fine-tune itself as a model has created and updated dates? Let's find out. Does this request itself, what about the response? The response, the response, which is external fine-tune response. This guy here. Does this guy has created date? Yes, it does. Right? So that means what I want to do is to basically go and say this here is the uh, um, fine-tune request, not fine-tune request, the external fine-tune response dot created date. So the created date is,
Yeah,
oh,
because then
you did
you,
assign it as created. That's right.
yeah,
And that should return the fine-tune response. Where's the fine-tune response here? We should have one.
might be
So
expected.
it should at least expected fine-tune dot response dot created date. So this here is what? Int. Why is that? This guy should be a date time offset. Yeah, why the created dates updated here are not, right? So that because that's the local model, right? Why is
Yeah.
that guy like that? So that's wrong. And then let's go back here. So that guy should be happy now. So that's that one part where we have dates, right? Now, what is the other part where we have dates on the external fine-tune response, which is inside each external training file? We have created date, right? Which means that our fine-tune response, the expected fine-tune response or our expected fine-tune right here, response, that guy should have training files as well, but with created data. Why did I make them like that? Datetime offset. Like that. So basically what that means is that for every file iteration,
Mm.
right? So we need to go here and say for each, right? And then um, um, uh, uh, fine tune file properties in, and then here is where's my file properties, which are random file properties. You have hyperparameters, training files. I highly doubt these training file properties, training files. This is definitely gonna fail because it doesn't know how to map this way. The mapping here, it doesn't know how to translate this into something. So I expect this one to fail. We'll keep an eye on it. But these training file properties, they have both created date, but should also generate the external training files, which is here, right? So this will be inside the training file properties, right? And we're basically saying set up this datetime broker mock to set this up to say the broker dot convert to datetime offset, right? And that will be the fine-tune file properties dot, and this should give us, when I pass in created, it should return fine-tune file properties dot created date if this is set up properly. So I don't know if mock is gonna let me kind of do this. Of course it won't. So this here, the input epoch created, and then the date time offset. That's the expected um, epoch converted date, which is fine-tune properties dot created date. And that guy needs some mapping. So here's our guy, and here is our. So this here will be your input created. Mock is so stupid like that. It'll say, I don't know, so okay, and this is their expected. So that's the second one, right? Um, so going back to the external, to the fine-tune response on all of this, we went through the training files. Does the hyperparameters have dates on them? No, it does not. Does events?
I code rub them to capital P as well.
Yeah, this should be here. Date time offset event. That means that the external event, so external fine tune. So external training files, cool. External fine tune response at the event level is int. Good. Which basically means we need another iteration of these. But this time we need the events. Did we put these events in a
Mm,
variable like we did with the training file?
I did.
Good, good. So
There's two sets of them. There's events and external events. Yeah.
so this is the external file. So random file tune properties.
See the bottom field there is external events.
Yeah, good, good.
Yeah.
So these are our events. So I want these external events. These are coming from event properties, which is coming from where? It's coming from event properties. Aha. Okay. So this, okay, I wish we put that in a variable like we did the other ones.
Mm.
Intrusive data, random event properties. There you go. So that should replace that at least in two places. There you go. So now I get to kind of go and say, okay, then this is fine-tune event properties, right? Property, right? And this should be external random event properties.
Wouldn't that be a Y for property?
Oh,
Property.
yeah. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, yep. Thank you for this. Yep. 100%. 100%.
Okay, I
So,
got it. It's,
okay, well,
once you're in the mode, you're in the mode.
yeah, it's so why did it put these in? Oh, because it matched the name there. Okay. Random event properties. Yeah, there you go. Which means that this fine-tuned property should also have created date. There you go. Yeah, that sounds like it makes sense. And then
Hmm.
I can take all of these and throw them in here
Turn them into verifies.
and flip those into verifies. Yeah. And then erase and just say times once. Oh, the indentation here is bad. Ah, times once. Okay, let's fix this. So I want all of this back here. And then like this. There you go. And same thing here. I think it's something that happens with the copying, copying and pasting. Something happens there. So okay, so that's times that once, so that should take care of that little guy. That's great. And let's see here. I think this test is in good shape now, I think. So let me kind of run this one more time. I mean, it's saying the method or operation is not implemented, so that's a good sign for now. But
Yeah, it's
but
getting
that was
it's
before I
getting
changed. Yeah,
It's getting halfway through.
that's a good sign, right? That's a good failure. So, okay, so are we good? Ah, there you go. Cannot convert to date time. Okay, that's good. So this here is pointing where? It's pointing at, let's try this again. Where are you? Line 63. In here. So it's saying training file property created date.
Yeah, even though the field says create a data, but just taking an int.
I expect created and created dates to be problematique. It didn't complain before because you had these strongly typed defined, but now they're not. So defined and then passed into this uh, method. So now, but now the situation is different, right? Is that what makes you happy? Come
I
on.
think you might have to change at the end where it says created to created date because it's just expecting the date version now instead of the int version.
I'm expecting created to be integer and created date to be. This is the type, the strong type here confirms that,
Right.
doesn't it?
So what you're passing into it is an int, and you're trying to cast it to a date time. So go back.
In the properties? Where
Go
where are you,
back.
where are you?
Go back down to go down. I think down. Oh, sorry. Stop. Go up. Yeah, I think it's line 60 something.
63.
Yeah. See, it's created date. Go to created date there. Yeah. See, that is expecting a date time offset, and the other created date at the other end of that. No, I think you're passing it into it. I really think.
You think this is an int?
Yeah.
Let's find out. So if I go inside the properties here, the
Uh,
created is epoch. The created date is a date time offset.
yeah, but is that coming from there or is that coming from the other
It's possible. Yeah, you're right. So this is create. Ah, ha ha ha. Why the heck is this like that? This supposed to be. We're supposed to have created and created date. Cool. I'm not mad. Am I? I'm not. So created date should be that. Created should be this guy.
mm. Oh,
Right? And then the same thing happens here. So this is created, created date and created. Random created epoch, and this is random created date, right? See, the cool part is, and just, so people understand, just a little advice for people, like don't be too dependent on the IDE. Try to do things right logically in your mind first, and then if you miss something, that's what the IDE is for. I see today, like I was talking to this person today, and they'd be like, "Well, the IDE didn't give me an error." Well, what do you want me to do about that? It doesn't mean anything, right? Um, do we not have fillers in here? Oh yeah, we don't have fillers because you're doing the, yeah. So okay, so let me go back here. Now I want to keep an eye on the externals if they have dates. So external, ah, this should be created, and that should be mapped to an int. Yeah, I got it. External event created, and that should be mapped to an int, right? And then is there anywhere else? Yeah, in here. So this you have created int, and you have created int in here. I bet you it will be much happier now. Let's find out. Here's a run.
Definitely one of the heavier tests in the project.
Yeah, it's fun. It's the beefy part. Okay, cannot convert time to date time offset. Okay, show me where I made my mistake. In here. Ah ha ha ha. What is this guy? This guy is the created date. Good. I'm making good trouble. The good kind of trouble. Updated date. There you go. And then let's do this again. There should be at least one more. Come on, give me something. Seriously, 128 gigs of RAM and you're taking like okay. All right. So here's a failing test. Now I'm gonna make it pass. What do you think about that? So, um, Kylo, did you figure out the signing of the commit thing?
No, not yet. I
Okay.
think I have to download something else
You don't have
first.
to download anything. Don't make up stuff. You don't have to download anything. All right. So what do I want to do? I want to take that fine tune and map the, so I want external fine tune request, external fine tune request, um, uh, convert to fine tune request. And here's the fine tune. So we're taking that guy and we're converting it. And then we expect to get an external fine tune response. External fine tune response. And this external fine tune response is what's going to come out of the broker. So this is the broker submit or post fine tune. And this is the external fine tune request. Right? And then we expect to return the full fine tune. So convert to fine tune or update fine tune. What did we call it with the chat? We had a better name for it. Services
Submit.
submit.
No, hang on. I'm in another world. Don't worry. I'm thinking about something else.
Okay. Let's see the chat completions. Oh, we just called it converted. Okay, fine. Convert to fine tune. So we took the input fine tune and we updated it with the external fine tune response. Okay, so we have a couple of methods that need to be implemented. Well, it's probably going to be more than that, but you know, let's honor the chronological order here. So we're starting with the request and then working our way back. So it wants a new external fine-tuned request, right? And that guy wants stuff, right? It wants a lot of stuff. So this is going to be fine-tune dot request dot field ID. This is where AI gets really fancy and helps out. Classification.
I did the fancy copy and paste stuff from the with the
You can't.
multiple cursors from the model.
Yeah. Okay. Should probably do that too. What do you think?
You should have grabbed the get select because there's arrays in there. Did you
What
get it?
happened? What happened to you? You mean like this, right?
Yeah, see the arrays. You should have done it on the get select. See.
Oh, because of the freaking but that's all.
Is it all of them? Did you get them all?
I know that I know that one of them is, well, did I get all of them? That's actually a good question. I don't, oh yeah, suffix is the last one. Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So this here will be, let's do multi-select here. This here will be equal and then fine tune dot request dot blah. And then I don't think all of these will work out. Will they? Oh, maybe on the request they will. Okay. There must be a list in here somewhere. Yeah, this classification betas, but we really don't, it's the same type, so it's it's apples for apples there, right? The response is the interesting part though, because we want to go and say give me back, so this fine tune dot response, right, equal new fine tune response. And that's where it's going to get a little interesting, right? Because that's where all your mapping happens. Let's go down here. Let's do it from the get select. That's right, Brian. We'll do it right this time. What do you think?
You show me something, I perfect it. See, that's what happens.
Get over yourself.
True, fair.
uh, let's see. No, you're fine. So external fine tune response dot, and then paste these, and they're gonna cause some trouble, and that's totally fine because this here is object, it's not model. And these hyperparams is actually a mapping. So select, what are you? Oh yeah, so we need to convert this. So, okay, so this is convert to hyperparam. So convert to external hyper, convert to hyperparams, right? And it's gonna take this guy. So that's one method. And then this is also convert to training file. Why does it say file and not files? That's a bad name. Files, right? Does that mean, why the heck did we call it that? So now OpenAI has better naming conventions than us? Ha! Ha ha! That's sad. And then this is a created date. This is where we call the datetime broker. So this is where we want to go and say, and because just the looks of it, convert to datetime, and we're just gonna pass this because if you say this dot convert to datetime, it looks a little interesting. What else? We have the event, so this is convert to events. Okay, we have a bunch of things to implement. This will take hyperparams, so it should return new hyperparams. There you go. I know, but it's just too little, so it doesn't matter.
6 of one, half a dozen the other with this one.
I thought this hyperparam had a, I thought it had a date in it somewhere. Could be wrong. So this convert training files, right? So this is, here's a method, and this here will be return training files dot select external training file, new training file. There you go. And then you have these stuff. So let's go down here and let's do some magic. So click. There you go. Control minus, slap it in here, and then take all of this. Oops. And external training file dot These guys. Okay. Did I miss I always misspell external. What do you do with that, right?
Mhm.
Let me show you what I'm gonna do about this. External, right? And then I'm gonna fix it. External, and then I do this, and it kind of fixes it, right? Should. Look. External.
You could have done. You could have done the Alt Shift and what is it,
Ah,
semicolon?
stop it. Stop it. Stop. So just get tired, Brian. Get tired. All right, so we need that convert method as well. Cool. Moving on. So convert to date time, convert, and then there's convert to event. I guess it's time now to do the convert date time. Cool. This should be convert date time. Okay, Lou, are you still in there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Cool. Um, let's see here. So this is just gonna call the datetime broker. Okay, that takes care of all of that. And then now this guy's expecting an array to array. So that should do it. And then the last thing that we have is the events, right? And these are lists. So it's gonna be return events dot select external events new event dot to array, of course. And how many are they? Yep, convert time. So this is the external event dot created date level message type, which is external event dot object. There you go. A code drop for people who want to contribute to this is to order these the same order as the class itself. If you have time, make that order, please. And then this will mean that, you know, since we updated this guy, we can just return the fine-tuned model right here. Right? Now, what is this guy? This guy's probably saying make it static. Yeah, that's right, because it's not using the, yeah, this is good. And this also can be static because it's not using the private class member. Okay, you think I'll go from the first run? I mean, I did my due diligence to make sure, but you know, I'm not perfect. Thank God I'm not perfect. That would be boring. Um, okay, so what are we missing? Object reference is not, yeah, probably because of the, I bet you, because we said files and it's probably saying file here somewhere still. No, that's not it. Let's see. Oh, come on. Where's the, yeah, object is not set to an instance of an object. Submit, fine tune. Oh yeah, that's back. And then, oh, okay, so it starts the trace start from here. Okay, what is in here that is not being mapped proper? Let's find out. Can I actually do it without debugging, just out of curiosity? Hyperparameters, training files, validation files. What did we call these guys as? Objects, that's right. Let's see here. If I put this as a break and then debug, let's see what happens. Oh, and I'm still on release mode from the last release, so let's go back here. Here is debugging. Here we go. So what is null in here that doesn't map? External file response. Oh, external file. Oh, external file to response is garbage. Why is that? Then the mapping. Did we? I think I know why. Did we actually just pass the file in instead of? No, we said external fine-tune request as. So that should have given us back the right stuff, unless this here is not. Oh, did I even post the thing? Let's see. Yeah, post fine-tune. So this guy is coming back as null, so we didn't match. It didn't really match whatever we're expecting to be passed in here, which means that convert to fine-tune request didn't do the right job there. So we must be missing something. What are we missing here? Uh-huh. There you go. And then this is classification betas and then fine-tune dot request dot classification beta. So what did we call this classification? Sorry, request classification betas. Is there any more? Nope, that's it. That was it. Okay, maybe it will run this time. Let's see. Ah, still no. Let's see why. Yeah, there you go. Expected property response updated date to be blah, but found blah. So it didn't catch the right, yeah, it didn't catch the right conversion there. When it's basically the, okay, cool. Let's see why that is. Then it must have been expecting a certain value and something in our mapping here didn't do the right trick. That's probably because int of null is 0, isn't it? So if I say a casting of int to null, oh, it wouldn't work. Int of null. Yeah. So it's probably then, let's see, is one of these created date created things where, let's see, and training property and then created, right? And we basically went and said, unless it generated the same value, and that's probably what happened. What's the scale of the, let's see, this get random number. What is this? L Charlie Dev. Hi, this is my first message. Hi, L Charlie Dev. Um, let's see here. The reason why this is because we have way too many, way too little numbers in here. This is the problem that we were trying to solve with the chat completions. And we went and we figured out a way to get truly random numbers. So if we go back to chat completions here, you'll find this really crazy method that gives us truly random numbers. And where is this? Hold on, index range, get random number. Yeah, there is this crazy method that we implemented. I think we said get unique or something like that. Where did it go? Let's see here. What's the first thing we did? It was completions. Oh yeah, completions. There you go. And it should be somewhere here. Create random choices, random number, uh, random dictionary. Okay, fine. I'll search across the entire solution. So unique. I think we called it unique or something like that. No? Okay, there is a method. Create random string array, create completion, random completion, random choices lists. Where did we do this? Did we do it in the AI files? Oh, I think this is, no, this is create randoms. Check models. Models, AI models, Diogo? Let's see. AI models. He's probably right. Create random permission properties list. Oh, I think that, nope. Create random date number. Yeah, I think this is it. So we need this guy here. That's why. Because it's generating, yeah. So thank you, Diogo. That's right. If I go back here and then instead for every created, when I say this is a create random date number, basically. So everywhere when I say epoch, that should be replaced with this. And that's truly a random number. Truly. So that should fix it. Let's find out. Come on, baby, come on. No, still? Okay. I'll fight you all night until you work. So now what? It says actual fine-tune updated date to be but found. Still the same problem? Do I need to rebuild or something? Let's see here. Then I must have missed one. That's the only way I can. Let's see. So create random date number here is good. Um, batch size, create random date number here is good. Create random date number here is good. Yeah, these guys should be okay. Now, the only thing that's probably missing here is that somewhere we are not properly mocking the date values, and that's why this is kind of doing this. So let's double check on this. How many dates are we creating really? So here's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, right? Do we have four places where we mark our dates? This is one. Ah, I didn't do the updated. That's why. Ryan, why didn't you tell me? Updated. Right? Should, right? Updated. Right? And this guy should be updated. Date, right? So this is Reddit updated date. Created date. There you go. So that means we need two of these. So input created and input updated. And then you have the updated date, and then we have the created date. That should do it. If this doesn't work, I don't know. I don't know after that. Oh, okay. What else is missing? It's a fun thing. Ooh, runtime, datetime, anonymous datetime does not contain a definition of updated. Okay, I missed something. So one of these dynamic models still says updated date. Up, updated date. This is correct. And then on the files, it's all coming, all the trouble is coming from the files, I guess. Created date. Oh, wait. Yeah, hold on. No, this is wrong. This should have been in here. And this should have been created. And this should be, sorry, updated. And this should be updated. Yeah. So, updated date. And this should be updated date. Yeah, we don't need that part. Because files don't have created updated on them, actually. Brian, where are you? What happened to you? I can't hear you.
I'm eating pecans.
You're eating
Pecans. My dad gave me a bag full of pecans. You know what pecan nuts are, don't you?
Brian, your dad is still around, right?
Yeah. I caught up with him
Oh,
today.
oh, you're a lucky guy. You're a lucky guy. Okay, what is this? It says expected the invocation of the mock once. So we generated the same random number 3 times? Is that what's happening here? Well, that's a bummer. Then we're not really random then. Let's see. Create random date number, or I am reusing the same thing. Oh, of course I am reusing the same thing. Ah, bugger. There you go. And why is that not scoped though? That breaks my heart. Yeah, everywhere where it's return and uh oh, we do have a return in here, but we need a scope. That's right. And because it's iterating across multiple items, it's doing this nonsense. Yeah, so we need a return basically, which I'm not a big fan of. Because inside each one of these, we need to generate new things like that.
Mhm.
Now, the real question here is why is this guy tripping? Let's see. This is the end of that. Aha, I see. And
The
then
two,
this will,
the two array. Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, this is much better. We need to do the same thing for the other ones as well. So in here, pretty much the same thing. So this will go like this. Learning from our mistakes here. And then return. Ah, stop it. It's freaking out. Now it's gonna be truly unique numbers,
Mm.
I think. Okay, this is it. This is the moment. Let's make it pass. Okay. Ah, okay. The mock failed verification. Date time. Okay, it says that I couldn't verify date time mock with this number. Okay, so there's a place somewhere where we didn't call
Did we
the right.
copy the Did we copy the verifiers down?
We
We need.
didn't.
Mm.
We should. Good call. Good call, Parker. Look at you. Now you're pairing with me. Now you're coming back online. Good call. Good call, Parker. There he is.
I do follow sometimes.
And then Brian Parker entered the room. Verify. Yeah, that's probably the last one, I think. I'm a hopeful guy. I like to be hopeful. So this goes out. Boom. Done. So this is fully true mapping of the entire thing.
Hmm.
You see, if you look at the code, you'll freak out, but if you know what we're trying to do, things might seem a little bit easier. And I might, at some point in time, because, some people told me, why don't you just put all of these in methods? Be like, this is part of the test, that to show you that what we're mapping what to what. That's what it's supposed to look like, right? So, although that exceeded 200 lines of code, I think it's okay. Okay, so let's do a quick cleanup and starting. I hope we can finish this tomorrow along with the clients and everything else because next week is gonna be all off. I will be traveling, so the entirety of next week is gonna be completely offline. And that, just so you people understand, that doesn't mean that you can't still contribute to the project, like pick up issues and run with them. Like I am still here, I just don't have my nice streaming set, with me. It's gonna be a little bit harder to carry all that stuff around. So that's gonna be the case there. Um, anyway, I have to mute Kailu there, but okay, so we should have this up and running, but so I think only the only thing that's left really is just to validate all these pieces and just kind of handle the exceptions,
Hmm.
and that should do the trick,
I actually think the
right?
validation in that one's pretty simple. Yeah.
Yeah, again, if anyone wants to take this, offline because we've done it multiple times, take it and run with it. If not, we will pick it up tomorrow and we'll get it to a completion point. What do you think, Parker? Does that sound like a plan?
Yep. It was a complex one, that one. Glad we got through it.
All right. Okay. Thank you all so very much. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.